Welcome to the Chromperfect Beginner Training Series. We are currently working through Section 3, Working with Chromatograms. This section focuses on the tools used to examine and interpret chromatographic data within the analyze environment. In the previous chapter, we focused on integration and how Chromperfect identifies peaks within the chromatogram based on the detector signal. We looked at how integration parameters control peak detection and how the system determines peak boundaries. But at that stage, no identification or quantification was discussed. This is Chapter 6 and the final chapter in this section, and we're about to explore calibration fundamentals. This chapter brings together everything we have covered so far in Section 3 and explains how Chromperfect converts integrated peak data into meaningful analytical results. Calibration plays two critical roles in chromatography. The first is identification, and the second is quantification. Retention time is used to determine what a compound is, while detector response, such as peak area or height, is used to determine how much of that compound is present. Calibration defines both of these relationships and allows Chromperfect to consistently match peaks to components and calculate their concentrations. Calibration does not modify or interact with the raw detector signal. Instead, it operates on peaks that have already been detected and integrated. Calibration defines how those peaks are identified based on retention time and how their measured response relates to concentration. Calibration in Chromperfect is stored in calibration files. These files can be opened, reviewed, or edited within the file editor or analyze programs. To open a calibration, in the Analyze program, select Edit Calibration from the File menu, and in the File editor, select Open from the File menu, and then select Calibration. These files contain response data generated from known standards and define both the expected retention time for each component and the relationship between detector response and concentration. Each component can have its own calibration data. Calibration is directly linked to the method. When a method is applied to a chromatogram, the associated calibration is also applied. This ensures that once peaks have been detected and integrated, they can be correctly identified and quantified using the defined calibration. Calibration can be updated in several different ways. The first method is automatically, during acquisition, when a run is identified as a calibration standard. In this case, Chromperfect will update the calibration file immediately using the data from that run. The second method is by using batch reprocess. This allows multiple standard runs to be processed together and used to update the calibration file. This approach is typically used when building or refining a calibration using a full set of standards, or when the data from the corresponding chromatograms need to be reviewed and adjusted before the new responses and retention times are applied. The third method is by performing a manual calibration update from within the File Editor program. This is done by selecting the Miscellaneous Options tab and clicking Perform an Update. A new form will appear, and the user will select which calibration level is to be updated, choose whether the existing retention times and responses should be updated or replaced, and which data file should be used for the update. Each of these methods has been demonstrated on screen. Another important point to understand is that once data has been reprocessed, the calibration file is stored within the bound file. This ensures that the calibration used to generate results is preserved, along with the processed data, supporting consistency and traceability. Calibration is displayed and managed within the Chromperfect Analyze program. Component names are shown alongside their associated peaks, and each component is defined by a retention time and a search window. The search window defines the range within which Chromperfect will look for a peak corresponding to that component. These values are represented within the calibration table, where each component entry includes its retention time and search window limits. This allows Chromperfect to match detected peaks to the correct components during analysis. Changes to calibration can also be made graphically within Chromperfect Analyze. Components can be added or deleted, retention times can be adjusted, responses updated, and search windows can be expanded or reduced. This provides a visual and intuitive way to refine calibration directly from the chromatogram. To use this graphical interface, select the Components menu item, and you can see on screen the options that are available. I will demonstrate how this method is very effective for making changes to individual components using the Chromperfect method of left mouse button to select and right mouse button to confirm. You should now be familiar with this operation, as we have used it in many areas of the Analyze program. After you have made your changes, you can save your calibration file from the File menu and select Save Calibration. Theoretically, you could create a new calibration file from scratch using this graphical method. However, its strengths are really in fine-tuning retention time changes and search window adjustments. If you want to delve more deeply into modifying calibrations, the use of the cal table and full interface is recommended from within the File Editor or Analyze program, as discussed earlier. If you would like a deeper understanding of the theory behind calibration, including response factors and calibration curves, you can refer to the Chromatography Theory playlist on our YouTube channel. In particular, the chapters titled Calibration Theory provide a more detailed explanation of the underlying principles. This completes Chapter 6 and marks the end of Section 3 of the Chromperfect Beginner Training Series. Congratulations on completing Section 3. You should now be completely confident in using and navigating the analysis program, which is at the heart of the Chromperfect system. In Section 4, we will focus on reporting and deliverables. We will explore how Chromperfect presents analytical results, how reports are generated and customized, and how data can be exported and shared. This will include working with report templates, understanding output formats, and ensuring that results are clearly communicated and suitable for regulatory or operational use. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, please like, comment, and subscribe. And for more information, visit chromeperfect.com.